And
we are
live.
We live?
We live.
We live, folks. Hey,
y'all.
Look. Look, y'all hear Tasha in the background welcoming y'all to another, look at say rendition of the Talk Your Shit. Well, we're going to call this bitch Talk Show podcast. Because we moving up. Moving on up to the east side. All right, so if y'all see the topic up there in the header, it's a little sensitive, it's a little sticky, very personal, but it's real. You know what I'm saying? It's something that people deal with in life. So we're going to talk about it. Y'all already know we like to have hard conversations, conversations that people don't usually like to talk about. So you know what I'm saying? So we normally, we stay hush-hush, but you know what I'm saying? It might be able to help somebody else. So we're going to have this conversation, but we're going to have it sensitive. We're going to be real sensitive about it, right? So we're going to respect our guests, and I'm going to expect y'all to respect her as well. But before we get into this thing, we're going to take some shots. So what are we shotting to? Come in.
To life.
To life.
Happiness. Prosperity.
Absolutely. I definitely agree to that. And we're going to do a good show. And many more good shows to come. Cheers.
Much success.
Tasha, cheers. Cheers. You want a shot? So you cheers.
Malibu.
Okay, that's actually not that bad.
Not that bad?
It didn't even sting at all.
Okay, well.
All right, so we're going to get into this thing. If y'all see the topic up there in the header, it say confessions of betrayal. Or betrayal. If y'all don't know what that means, you'll figure it out on the show. I was kind of, I didn't know what the title is, to be honest with you, because I can go so many different directions, but I wasn't quite sure how to title it. You okay with the title?
That's fine.
Okay, cool. All right, so before we get, or how we going to get into this conversation, because what brought you to having this conversation with me?
I married a closeted homosexual. And I did not know that was the life how he lived. I just recently found out. And we've been married for 16 years.
Ooh, that's a long time. So when you say you just found out, how recent?
About a good half a year ago.
Okay. Damn, I don't know. I don't know what to say. That's a little sticky. 16 years is quite some time. So y'all was young. Y'all were kids.
I was in my 20s when I got married, my early 20s.
So what made you decide to talk about it on this platform?
I know there's a lot of people that go through what I'm going through, and they're too afraid to speak up about it. But I no longer allow fear to dictate my life.
Amen. In the heart, lay goddamn little. Listen. So I would, if I listen, because if it was me. Do you have any shame? Like, is there any embarrassment that goes with it?
At first, I was ashamed and embarrassed, and then I broke down and I cried out.
Can you speak up? We can't hear you.
I said at first I was ashamed and embarrassed, and then I broke down, and then my children are the ones who motivated me to get up and do better.
I'm a little lost for words, to be honest with you. And that doesn't happen often. Because I'm thinking about myself. Because I talk a lot, as you can see. It's a whole goddamn podcast, and I clearly talk on it. But if it was me, I don't know how I would deal with it. Because I feel like because I still love. Do you feel betrayed?
I do. Because there's somebody who took my purity.
I know this individual. and I know this individual, and the reason why I'm going to ask you these questions is because did you see any signs?
Yes and no.
Okay, break that down for us.
Yes, as in he is very feminine.
Mm-hmm.
And no, as in he hides extremely well from his family and everybody else who he is.
Okay, well that's understood. So so this person is not out in the public.
No.
Ooh. So yes, look, but direct back that clutching pearls. So that means if people know you and they know who you married to, then they gonna know.
I don't even care anymore.
Did you say hi to the guest?
Okay. Hi. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Of course, if you guys have some, if you have some questions or you have some statements to make, drop them on the cookie board. But be sensitive.
We do have a comment from the Jaw Jacking Show.
What's
Describe feminine. When you say he had
Woman-like traits, no man qualities at all.
You were attracted to that?
No, he wasn't like that when I first met him.
So how far within the marriage did you see these feminine traits, and what went through your mind?
They started coming out like 7 years after
Okay.
we got married.
Okay. Cause my personal interaction with this individual is he.
See, he always showed it was two sides.
Okay.
I didn't get the side that his family saw.
Okay.
I got that I'm going to be masculine, fix your car, and all of that side.
Okay. So he put on the front.
Yes.
So it was like a put up a front. So those were the signs for you.
It's a complicated situation.
But you say that was within 7 years in the marriage. Y'all guys stayed married for 16 years. How did you find out?
He got my cousin drunk, and he tried him. And then my cousin came to me and told me.
You got a question?
Well, when you said when he tried your cousin, like were they doing a wrestling move or were they
I'd rather not.
trying to? Oh, my bad.
But it was clear.
Clear
He's a male cousin.
that it was a
Yes.
sexually.
No, he is not like that. My cousin's not like that. And for him to break down and cry to me and tell me, that's when I realized what was going on.
So do you mind talking about the conversation that you had with your husband?
The conversation he denied.
Well, are you guys still married?
Legally, yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the conversation that you had, because did you bring it up to him?
I did.
Is that what led to the divorce?
He denied it.
I have another question here. It says, did you believe your cousin when your cousin came and told
Absolutely.
you? Is it because of the signs?
My cousin was in the military, and he is a very honest. He's a very honest person, and we're very close. And he has no reason to lie to me.
Ouch. So you said he was in. He denied it.
He denied it. The whole marriage, he's been denying it.
But the fact that he came on to the cousin, that's what I'm talking about. Like
He denied that.
I was gonna try to get into some details, but you said you don't really want to talk about that. Yeah, and that's cool. So, how did it make you feel?
It broke me. Because like I said, this somebody who took my purity, the only man I've ever known and been with.
Okay, because when I think of myself, I'm thinking of when I think of betrayal, and it's coming from my husband, and it's coming, and it has another same sex involved. Did it affect your security as a woman?
No.
Kudos to you.
It's a fear in my head that he's exposed me to that community health-wise. So every day I live in fear, like, is this the day I'm going to be HIV positive or something like that? That's the fear that I live with daily because we have children.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that, but we're going to leave the kids off the table. So you guys have kids. So are you guys communicating?
I communicate as little as possible.
So when it comes to you thinking of being safe, like when you're talking about, is this the day that I'm going to be HIV positive? It's crazy because we all attach, I ain't going to say we all, but we definitely attach sexually transmitted diseases to homosexuality, unfortunately. Listen, we know it definitely it applies to all of us, but we definitely, it's like a stigma, right? It's definitely attached to that. Well, do you have conversations with him about that?
No, but I do have a neighbor he's confided in, like, since they moved next door to us, and the entire 16 years he's cheated with multiple men. And I had to find out from my neighbor.
So did he say whether or not it was protected?
Nope. This is a closeted homosexual. You think he gonna tell you how many partners he's had?
Well, he didn't tell you, but he done confided in the neighbor.
No, my neighbor won't tell me.
What? Is the neighbor one?
No. He hates his guts and he want to take him off this round.
Oh, well, don't do that, neighbor. So does he know? Do your husband know that the neighbor's spilling all the damn beans?
Oh, he knows. And he told me I believe other people and not him. See, I was believing him for 16 years. But once that bell dropped, you can't tell me nothing.
Yeah. And what was the bell drop again?
The whole situation.
The whole situation.
The whole situation.
Just trying to recap some of it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, oh gosh, because I was thinking when you brought the conversation initially, I was thinking of something like, did you catch him in the act? So it wasn't a catch in the act. It was from the initiation of him trying to holler at your cousin. Do you still love him?
No, I feel nothing for him. I don't even like his existence. And I'm going to leave it at that.
And that's probably because of this. Because what attracted to you to him in the first place?
I met him at church.
Oh.
According to the one that I know. Because they heavy on the church. In other words. So that means you're a God-fearing woman. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So when you took your vows, and we get a little personal, when you took your vows, it's for better or for worse?
I didn't step outside my vows.
Okay. So, but we never really know what that word's gonna be.
This is a word that I'm just not gonna stand by, because this is a lifestyle that you are too ashamed and afraid to live. And how you stay married to that.
So have you forgiven him?
I forgave him a long time ago.
So do you love him in a godly way?
I do not.
Yikes. That's deep.
I do not. I feel absolutely nothing. And what I really feel, I keep to myself.
I could understand that. I could understand it from a position of hurt. and the reason why I ask that is because I don't know what I would do in this position, because I am a person who kind of prides myself on loving this shit, even the unlovable. But when something like that kind of hits home, I don't know. It makes you think.
It's like you don't know how to react, and I just, for like a long time, like I said, I just cried, and then I just picked myself up and stopped feeling sorry for myself, and I started my self-healing journey.
Do you think it's different for, because I had this conversation with someone, because we talk about any and every damn thing on this damn show. Do you think it's different when, like, say for instance, you guys are married and a woman cheats with another woman versus a man cheating with another man? Do you feel as though that it's different?
It's the same. It's the same.
I agree. I said it was the same as well.
You stepping outside your marriage for that same lifestyle, so
yeah,
it's no different.
So you say it didn't test your womanhood at all? So you had no insecurities in there as far as to when it came to the attraction level? Because when we're dealing with betrayal, what does betrayal mean to you? If you say if it's betrayal to you, then how did he betray you? Versus him just saying, like, can you go a little bit more into detail as far as to what that is?
He played with my life, like from the 23. From 23, you told me you love me, you're going to take care of me, start a family, all of that.
You say he did?
Mm-hmm. I believed it.
That's a good point, because she's saying that he did.
He did for 7 years, you said.
For 7 years.
He provided for you. He gave you children.
For the 7 first, and then it stopped, and he started again. He changed.
So he stopped providing? He stopped protecting?
He started getting aggressive, verbally abusive, sometimes physical. You'll never have him that admit it. But that's what it was. And then he would leave and tell me it's my fault. Everything was my fault.
I have some questions while Tanya's gathering her next question for you. John Jackie Show has been very active. We just want to thank them for
appreciate y'all
commenting. Shout out to them. The question was, when did you decide to leave?
About a good almost year ago.
And the other question was, did you ever get an STD since you was concerned? Since that was a concern.
My very first pregnancy, I was 6 weeks pregnant, and the doctor told me I had an STD. And he told me he's lying. I didn't have an STD. He's never stepped outside the marriage. And I was 2 centimeters dilated, losing my kid behind that. So.
Ooh. So you say he was the only partner that you had been with?
Yes.
You knew that?
Yeah.
Do you believe that?
I don't know. I can't.
So I'm just saying, because he didn't take that direction, like, no, it wasn't me. I mean, because you can't say the doctor's goddamn lying. Shit, bitch, if that's what the fuck they said. I mean, but it's clear.
It's like when you're first, I gave him too much control over me, which is what he wanted. He wanted me to be who he wanted me to be. He broke me as a woman and then molded me into what he wanted me to be. And I had lost my way for many, many years. And I'm just now getting back on track.
So what did you tell yourself where this STD came from?
I don't know.
You just brushed it under the rug?
Stupid, and just was like, okay, I believe you.
Girl, God bless you. It's gonna be hard
life. It's a very hard life when you have nobody but that person you give your all to.
So do you feel like the marriage was a cover-up? Do you feel like he's always been that way?
Oh, I know he's always been that way. Since a little boy. I'm just knowing that.
Yeah. So now you go to thinking about it.
Yeah.
You feel like you missed it.
This marriage was a cover-up.
And you guys haven't had a conversation about that?
He will not have a conversation with me. So I don't waste my time.
So what if he tells you that he wants his family back and he want to make this work?
You can go to hell. You and everybody else behind you can go to hell.
Is it because of the fact that it's like the cover up, the commitment that he made towards you, or is it a disdain for homosexuals?
Would you trust somebody like that?
You
okay?
You want to ask me?
F that.
No. If I could get into
that's beyond trust. Like you, I cannot. I will never. I have no words for you.
I'm a sucker for love. So when you ask me that question, it goes a little bit beyond that though, because I am a little bit of a sucker for love. Like I believe that we're not our mistakes, right? So I believe in grace. I believe in forgiveness. So it's easy for me to forgive. But when you're dealing with a lifestyle, I believe that when it comes to this in the manner of which we're talking about, I feel like it goes beyond something that I can comprehend or that I'm even in control of. So I think that it's not going to be to my benefit, is what I'm saying. I feel like I'm gonna end up hurting myself more than I realize just because I want to believe. It's like a false hope there in my mind. Not to say that no one can't change, because I do believe that people can change. But when it comes to something of this sort, as far as to when you hear other people talk about it, they believe it's something that they're born in it. You know what I'm saying? Like they're born with it. And so if you say you want your family to work, then because I'm a woman and I don't like to share.
That's not gonna happen. In order for you to change, you have to want to change. You gotta accept yourself, and that's something he will never do. He will never accept who he is.
Right.
Therefore, he will never change.
Right.
He's still out there messing around with men. Still. And go to church.
So did you guys have a conversation where because sometimes I go to thinking about an experience that I had with my daughter, right? Because when my daughter told me that she liked girls, right? Heavily in the church. I done talked about it on the platform before, and initially I went to what we were taught. It's a spirit, XYZ.
Yeah.
You feel to be prayed for. It's something that we feel like we can pray out for you. And it was real, right? So I mean, all that you can imagine probably was motherfucking going on in that experience until I had a conversation with the Lord that was differently. And the reason why I went to the Lord to have a different conversation is because I realized the love that my daughter felt for me prior to that experience. It was shaky. Like, it makes me emotional a little bit. So she didn't feel it anymore, in other words. So it made me love her versus me judging who she is and what I don't understand, because it's not that I can't love someone who's not my child in that same manner. But when it's your child, then it's different. It's like we're a little bit harsher when it comes to our kids. It's like a tough love goddamn type of situation, because you do want the best for them, and you know what I'm saying, you want to see them do good or whatever. So, you know, you might be a little bit more lenient, you might be more patient, you might be a little bit more long-suffering, and all of those things when it comes to other people. But when it's your kids, we're a little bit more direct and blunt with that motherfucking shit. Like, no, you're going to do it this way, and it's because I said so. Mm-hmm. But I realized that it was an approach that I couldn't take with my kid.
Yeah, he's a mama's boy. and his mom will never accept who he is, which is why he's closeted. And he will hurt every female that comes into his life.
And you believe because he's not out with it?
He will never be out. He will never admit that he's a homosexual.
I have a comment from Facebook from Akemia. It says, I'm trying not to say something inappropriate, but what's wrong with her? Obviously, she still wants him.
This is what
she can tell by your tone. Are you still fucking him? No?
No. And you misconstrued everything. So, I don't know what you're reading, but I don't care about that man or his existence.
Okay. And then...
I have moved on. It's him that has not. So, you done got it flipped.
Okay. That's fair.
Another comment just still says, I'm still trying to figure out how she knew he was gay, but still got married. That's just a comment.
I never said I knew he was gay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say I knew he was gay. I'm saying I know now that he's gay. I didn't know back then. Mm-hmm. When you're closeted, you're going to do whatever you have to do to protect your lifestyle. Mm-hmm. If you hid that from your family, and these are people you grew up with, you expect me to know stuff when your own mama didn't even know?
If you guys are just tuning in late, what she said was, because I asked her, did she see any signs, like if it was any red flags, and she said that those didn't start to show until 7 years within the marriage. And then, of course, once that happened, then what she said is, then you go to thinking it back, because we all take a step back, and you know what I'm saying, you want to review the life, you want to analyze. It's like a deep search, right? Yeah. And then that's when she realized that, okay, this joker been that way. So she never said that she always knew that he was this way. She realized that once she came into the knowledge that it was. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So does that give you clarity?
If that gives you clarity, please respond in the comments. Also, one more comment from the Jaw Jackin Show. Mm-hmm. Does she take any responsibility for any of it?
Define responsibility.
What type of responsibility should she
like
take?
What?
Are you referring to the demise of the marriage or him being liking other people?
Jaw Jackin, that's comment to you.
I did.
That question is for you, so if you were responding.
Give my purity to somebody who I thought would build a foundation for me and with me.
Okay, Jaw Jackin Show. Are you guys going to it as far as to what's her blame within the marriage? Because I know you can't be asking her if she's the blame for him wanting to be with another man.
That just don't sound right.
Yeah, I don't think that's where they was going with that question. But then again, I don't know.
He's trying to put clarity in. It says, does she feel like she played a part in helping him hide it?
Oh, I didn't play any part in helping him hide it. How can I play any part when I never knew? That's the thing.
Are you saying the 16 years? She found out at the 7-year mark, but they stayed together 16 years. Maybe that's the direction that they're taking.
He started changing. And then, like I said, when you give somebody that type of control over you and they mold you and isolate you from your family, and he's the sole person you rely on. I was not working. I was locked in the house.
Oh, control
with my
from
kids.
The beginning.
Couldn't get out the house. Couldn't go to the mailbox. Couldn't even open the door. Had no communication with nobody other than my kids.
So are you getting counseling?
I do go to therapy.
Okay. Because when you say things like that, then it makes me feel as though that's something that's needed if you're not getting it.
Very.
So do you have something that you want to express that we haven't questioned, or it feels like you haven't spoken about? what would you tell a woman, or just someone in your business? Because it doesn't have to necessarily be a woman; it could be another man. What would you tell them?
You're gonna face negative judgment. How could you be so stupid? How could you not know? Like I said, when you give somebody your all, you don't see that. You believe them. Pick yourself up. Love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, nobody else can. Don't let nobody get that type of control over you to where you forget who you are.
Very good. Very good.
I totally agree. So, it's stay in that same place. Because what if I found myself in the same situation? Or what if
very hard situation to be in. It's a complicated situation. And like I said, everybody gonna have their opinions. Opinions are like asshole. Everybody got them.
Absolutely.
I could care less what people say to me or about me today. I don't care. I am on a self-healing journey to become a better person. I need to be better for myself and my kids.
Right.
I'm tired of hurting.
Amen. And hallelujah. So did you guys ever, because I feel like when it's so, because when you're dealing with someone who hasn't accepted that about themselves, because you're saying he's still not out, if you will, but obviously he's still living the lifestyle, but not outwardly. Because it makes me think, when it goes back to the experience that I had with my daughter, is me trying to convince her that ain't what she like, or that ain't what you should be liking.
The only thing I can tell him, love yourself. Accept yourself. If you can't do that, then you're going to be in turmoil and you're going to continue to ruin a lot of people's lives, including your kids.
And the therapy that you have or that you're receiving, do you think that that played a part in your current, how do you move forward from this?
I honestly don't know. I just take it one day at a time. One day at a time. I wake up, I listen to trauma release, and then I meditate, and then I spend my time with God. He's the only one who can help me.
I agree. It's not a show that we're going to prolong, because there's certain things that are off limits within this conversation that we've pre-talked about, and we're going to respect that. And if she doesn't feel like it's anything else that she wants to divulge, because I don't necessarily have any questions. Do you have any questions, Sal? You good?
It was a tough confessions of betrayal.
And it's something very sensitive.
Very sensitive.
Yes.
We appreciate you coming on the platform to discuss that.
Thank you for letting me.
Yeah,
because it needs to be it's a conversation that needs to be had, or that this is actually happened. Mm-hmm. That you could be married young and have someone tell you that they love you and take control over the situation, as far as limiting your outside, limiting your conversation from your family, taking and moving you to a place where he has access to everything, and you're taking him and you're trusting him to be the provider, the leader, to make the decisions.
That control that. Like, if I was on a phone conversation with you,
mm-hmm.
and he didn't want me talking to you, he would cut the phone off completely mid-conversation.
Like a house phone, like pull up the double, or just take the phone from you and hang it? Oh.
He cut it off, take the phone, yell, fight, and then leave. And then you stuck in the house. You can't do anything.
Oh, God bless you. God bless you, because I can't see it. I can't see it.
16
I believe
years?
that we're all capable of
being
controlled.
And will never be honest about anything he did. I take accountability for me. Me being ignorant, staying there because I was young, in love, or thought I was in love. Just I'm just over it and just want to heal.
When you say you thought you was in love, why would that change?
That's not love. Like, abuse is not love. Abuse is abuse.
I agree. I don't think abuse stops love.
Had I known back then what I know now, I'd have been left. I would have been left. Over the years, I've gained maturity.
So is this the first time that you're speaking about it in general?
Yes.
So if your family came and asked you, or his,
I don't even communicate with my family about it.
I think there's going to be a conversation.
I don't even communicate with my family about it. I wasn't the one to communicate with my family about it. It was the cousin that he tried.
Did the cousin say something? Did he say something to somebody else?
And he told him what happened, and I was like, I don't. How you react to that?
No, did he tell anyone else apart from you?
He told my mom, my aunt, my family. Like, they know.
And you haven't gotten any nothing from them?
I distance myself from people for the simple fact.
So you ignore outside opinions?
I do, because I need to focus on picking myself up.
Why?
And healing from 16 years of hell that I done been through.
I think that's very wise. Everybody don't have it. And to see the position that you came from, at least coming from what you said, that you know, being so controlled, I feel like that's very wise of you, because we have some people who swear they're wise and they still listen to outside opinions. So to be able to shut it down in a situation like this, because it's
when you have, even though my kids are off subject, when you got kids, my thought process is, if I go to jail, what's going to happen to my kids? Who's going to love my kids like I do?
Are the kids younger?
I have 2 teenagers and a 12-year-old.
Okay. That's as far as we go with that. Because I got grown kids. Yeah.
So that's a difference.
Absolutely. It's a big difference. It's a big difference. Tasha, do you have anything you want to say? My guest, do you have anything you want to say? Tell me any more. You good? All right. Well, Teresa, I do. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Just, if you're out there and you're going through what I'm going through, love yourself enough to get out. Don't stay in something that's not for you.
I'm going to add to that, if I can. Because it may be something that somebody don't want to get out of. And I just want to encourage you to love how you're led to love. Because if you led to stay in it and figure it out, by all means do that. I'm a person who don't pick sides. I do believe, like I said, that people are not their faults. And just knowing personally that we're not perfect, then I do believe that we as people should learn how to be a little bit more understanding, and definitely a lot more forgiving. But as she stated, if it is a situation that you don't want to be in, then do whatever it is it takes for you to be able to love yourself, and find some solace in that. And get some counseling if you feel as though that you need it. But Teresa, I do want to thank you so much for bringing this conversation to the platform. And it's not just for the sake of just being able to have this conversation, because it's a tough one. It's one I ain't never had before.
I don't know.
It's in the books.
I appreciate it.
It's definitely in the books, but I appreciate it. And you know, I thought heavily whether or not I really wanted to do it, if I'm being honest with you. And the reason why I thought heavily whether or not I wanted to do it is because, for one, I know him. For two, I don't want no one to feel as though that I'm picking sides. For three, however you choose to live your life, live it. It's not mine, and I'm not God. But it's also the reason why I decided to have the conversation is because it's other people who live with it. We're all going through it. And I feel as though that when I say that I have the hard conversations on this platform, why pick and choose, right? Which ones you feel like you want to have and which ones you feel like you don't want to have. Just allow the Lord to have his way with the conversation. And I believe that whatever needed to be said was said. And with that being said, I do thank you. I thank you for your courage.
Thank you.
I pray that you continue on your journey of love.
Absolutely.
And love greatly. And if you ever decide to give that love to somebody else, I hope it's untainted. Right? I hope it is untainted and as pure as it can be. And you're welcome to come back on this show for another topic. Look, maybe after the divorce. As a matter of fact, come back for the series because we're going to have a series about the effects of divorce. Okay. And it don't necessarily, I mean, because divorce affects everybody differently. Yeah. And, you know, it's definitely a life changer.
It'll be a more open platform.
Absolutely.
That's fine, or I can say what y'all want. I answer all the questions
as best as you could. Because she is still actively in the divorce. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And to the person who's on the other end, Teresa, you might want to plug your ears. Look, oh gosh. I don't even know if I'm gonna touch that. Just know, ain't no love lost. And no ill intent.
Mm-hmm. There was a comment on here also says you have to follow what resonates with your soul.
Are they referring to when? Which thing they're referring to?
I believe they were referring when she was doing her wrap up of the whole thing. This is, I don't know how to say his name. Tayakalak.
Well, thank you for your comment.
Thank you for your comment, baby.
But narrator don't know how to pronounce your name.
I don't know what the.
She don't know how to pronounce your name.
Yeah, what the? TOYAKAYELLC.
I don't know what the name is, but we appreciate your comment. I don't know necessarily where it's coming from. Is it because you said, are you referring to something when she said, as far as someone else being in the same position?
Thank you, Toya. Toya, I appreciate you, baby. Toya says you have to follow what resonates with your soul. When you were doing your closing and wrapping up and saying that you should love yourself and to come on again if you feel better and you get released and all that. That's what she was saying. Thank you. I appreciate it. And life general.
Well, how the hell you get to Toya? You done nicknamed the people?
No, she put it there. So it's Toya K LLC.
Okay.
So it's not Toya K Lack.
So damn shy. Toya, we appreciate your comment.
I appreciate your comment.
We appreciate your comment. All right, so we're back to now. Again, I thank you so much for coming onto the platform. It's much love. Look, I ain't never gave nobody a damn hug on my shoulder. You know, brought a little tear to my eyes.
I cry daily.
All right, but y'all already know this platform is, again, for any conversation that you feel like need to be had, because it's an experience that needs to be talked about that can help someone else. But we about to tap out and never forget to talk your shit. Till next time, peace out. One love.